this is the first in our series of lunchtime seminars and events. Delighted to have the quality of the speakers that we have assembled with us today. And this is part of the Park's developing offering around expanded range of value-added services, which will include coaching, mentoring and advice around access to finance as well. So very much watch this space with regard to some of those other developments. I'll take the opportunity to speak to me later or some of my colleagues in the audience. So, tax advantages of innovation is the theme. In terms of the Ronseal test, the objectives that we set out are those that are displayed on the screen in front of you. If we don't deliver in terms of satisfying your expectations with regards to objectives, then I suggest you speak to my esteemed colleagues who are sitting down here. But essentially, as you can see, we want to dispel the myth that R&D benefits is a hard relief to claim, that you don't have to be an inventor to qualify. You may already be carrying out R&D already and not be aware of that fact. It's an annual benefit, it's not a one-off benefit. We will then be moving on to exploring some of the options for obtaining patent protection and understand how the patent procedure can be used to reduce your tax bill, and then move on to how to fund your patenting strategy. The sort of underlying theme of all these sessions is really from a business point of view, can it save money? Can it enable you to make more money? If that is, if it ticks both of those boxes or one of those boxes, then we want to use this facility here, excellent facility here, in terms of getting that message across. So I'd like to formally welcome Steve Collins, the Senior Partner and Head of Tax at Francis Park, and Noel Akers, British and European Patent Attorney of NJ Akers & Co. Prior to that, I'd just like to introduce Martin Atkins, Partner Business Services at Francis Park, just to say a few further words.
Francis Park is the largest independent accountant in the region. We've got 7 offices across the patch, and a lot of our growth and success in recent years has been through our tax consultancy business. And the tax consultancy business was not only founded by Steve, but has also been driven forward enormously in recent times. And testament to the success of that is recent awards for the National Tax Practice, General Tax Practice in 2012 and also in 2009. So although we're a local company, we are nationally recognised for our tax expertise. With that in mind, I will now pass you over to Steve.
Thanks, Martin. Quite a build-up. Right, well, tax incentives for innovation. I'll start with a bit of background, really, and why we're talking so much about tax incentives for innovation. It's not necessarily new. Certainly there have been R&D reliefs available for quite some time. But if you go back historically, the UK investment in research and development as a percentage of the GDP traditionally lagged behind other countries, and probably about 10 years ago government started thinking we need to do something about this and started introducing some tax reliefs aimed specifically at encouraging R&D. I'm going to talk about a number of those reliefs. 4, actually. There are really only 3 reliefs. The first one is the research and development relief available on expenditure incurred by companies on R&D. The second one, which is just a subdivision of the first really, is a more particular type of R&D relief available particularly for SMEs. And then I'm going to talk about R&D relief for capital expenditure, which is something that maybe people miss a lot. And then finally, a different type of relief, and one which has only recently been introduced, called the patent box. Innovation Britain, which is the incentive that the government has taken on board, has been enhanced significantly by the introduction of the patent box, and that'll be the second part of my talk. The legislation for the patent box was brought in the 2012 Finance Act, although it's not intended to commence until 2013. The whole set of reliefs will be phased in. There's quite a lot to talk about on that as well.